This birthday set has to be one of the cutest things I have ever made for a child. If you've missed it, my daughter asked me a few weeks ago to make her best friend a birthday gift for her 7th birthday, which is at the end of this week. And I have somehow managed to finish it a whole week ahead of time. And I think it is just the cutest. So my daughter came with very specific requirements in which I needed to make a crop top with the belly on show, a skirt that had buttons down the front, and we needed to have a hair accessory. She initially asked me for a scrunchie, but then I suggested how about we make some bows, and she actually preferred that idea, so I made bows to go with it as well. So let me show you what I have made. Originally I had made the oversized tee by Ellie and Mac, but according to my daughter there was just too much room in the sleeves and it was just too big, her friend wasn't going to wear it. So I decided to unpick it all to see if I could cut a new pattern from it, but unfortunately the pattern that I chose wasn't matching up with the pattern pieces, so I actually had to cut out new fabric for the next tee, and I ended up using the Do It Better Yourself Club Kids tee, which unfortunately is no longer available, but it was perfect because now it sits exactly how she wants to. I just had to shorten it a little bit more by the hem so that the belly was on show. So this is what it ended up looking like, and inside throughout I have put rainbow thread, and I just love that it just gives it this extra pop of fun to it. For the hem I decided to dust off my cover stitch machine, which I hadn't used for about a year or even more than that, and I also added rainbow thread in there just to keep in with the theme of the rest of the t-shirt, and I think it came out really good. I also added a label on the inside of the t-shirt because I used to sell clothes quite a few years ago, but it wasn't something that lasted very long because I realized I didn't enjoy making clothes for others. I rather enjoy teaching others to make their own clothes. But because I had these labels lying around, I thought, let me just use it because it kind of fits in with the project. Well, not kind of, it fits in with the project because this is exactly the fabrics that I was using back then to create the clothes. So all of the instructions to care for it are exactly the same, so I thought why not add it as an extra touch. Then for the skirt, I made the button A-line skirt from Ellie and Mac, and they suggested that the buttons be 1 inch wide. I don't have 1 inch wide buttons in my stash, and never mind, I think 5 or 6 of the same to fit the colors of the skirt. And the only thing that I do have is a large jar of buttons that I bought in an Abercan sale, I think 2 years ago now maybe, and I think there's about 500 buttons in the jar, and they were the perfect color for the skirt. One of the things that I had to think about was at the waistband. The 1 inch buttons that the pattern suggested would occupy basically the whole waistband area, but using a smaller button I would be using less space, and I thought that when you wear it with the belly it would kind of fold down or maybe pull at the button and it just wouldn't look nice. So I decided to add 2 buttons instead of 1, which is just to give it that extra bit of structure, and then for the rest of the placket I just added them, spacing them evenly throughout. It's also got pockets which are really cute, and the back is elasticated, which is obviously best for comfort. I think this is a really cute set, and I actually want to make more of them for my kids, but I don't think they need it. I think it's just going to be a waste. Not a waste of time, but just a waste of fabric, because they've got so much clothes, so much that they haven't even worn because I got a lot of hand-me-downs, and I just don't think adding more to their wardrobe is going to be the best thing. To put the cherry on the cake and tie this outfit together, we had to make the matching pieces, and as I mentioned earlier, we made bows. So I made 2 bows with the same fabric from the skirt, and I made 2 of them because the thought process was, if the birthday girl wanted to make 2 ponytails, we can add a bow to each, and if she wants to make 1 ponytail, we can add 1 bow. But my daughter did ask me to make a third larger bow for that 1 ponytail event, but I don't want to make that one because I think the 2 bows are enough. Plus my daughters, both of my daughters, want me to make bows for school now. So they want me to make matching bows in a blue tone, which is to match their school uniform. So I don't exactly feel like making another bow for the birthday girl. So I hope that that thought has kind of been forgotten and I can kind of creep past it. So for the bows that my daughters asked to match their school uniform, I asked them how many bows they wanted each, and I shouldn't have done that. I should have just made one bow each, but they each came back with they want 2 bows each. So I chose this fabric, and I obviously consulted with the girlies if they thought that this was the suitable fabric, and they both said yes. I thought it was really cute. So they want me to make 4 bows, 2 bows each for school uniform, and I'm hoping to get to it this week because school is starting tomorrow, and I think it would be really cute to send them off for school on the first day in their uniform with bows, so I can have a photo, just a cute photo from the beginning of the year, and I take a photo as well at the end of the year just to see how much they've grown. So I'm hoping I can get that done kind of really soon, tonight. Other than finishing up the birthday set for my daughter's friend and them planning what my next sewing make should be, so the bows for school, I finished up sewing the tote bag for a workshop that I want to organize. I thought this bag, so with the geometric shapes at the front, is just a level up from your simple plain tote bag, and it's a lot more fun. You can combine a lot more fabrics, and it also just gives you a little bit more to think about, as in placement of your pieces, colors and all that. But the plan is to make this bag completely from scratch, and something that I'm wondering is, do I provide all of the fabric, or would you prefer to bring the fabric yourself? I just think that if I provide the fabric, it takes all of the stress out of you having to go out, figure out what fabric you want, and like that you can just really rock up and I have everything ready for you. So please let me know in the comments, if you were to go to a workshop like this, do you want to bring your own fabric, or would you prefer if I provided you with that fabric? So I'm still deciding on that factor depending on what you let me know, and we are going to be working on piecing the front together, making a tote bag, adding the handles, top stitching, boxing out some corners, and as well making it fully lined. So I am super excited to put all of this together, work on another design as well, because I wanted you to have the option of 2 different designs at least. So this is one of them with the triangles, and I'm hoping to make the other one with squares or rectangles. I'm still going to decide on the placement, but I'm drafting these completely from scratch, and for now they're going to be exclusively my patterns for the workshops. Another super exciting event that is coming up is the one-day sewing celebration at Janome headquarters in November, and I'm super excited to tell you that I have finally put those tickets up for sale. So we have already sold most of the tickets. There's only 5 tickets left, and it is just going to be such a fun day filled with 6 hours of sewing, and you don't have to bring anything except for a project that you want to work on. So Janome will be providing a sewing machine for each person that comes. There will be lots of food and drink to keep us going throughout the day. There's going to be goodie bags for each person, and as well raffle prizes are going to be handed out throughout the day. I am super excited for this event. I will leave a link in the description box below if you would like to see any more details, or if you'd like to grab one of those last seats. If you miss getting your hands on one of those tickets, or just the date is not suitable for you, I do still have space on my other Sew and Bond events towards the end of the year, so there's still spaces on the November and the December monthly socials that I host. Other than that, I have absolutely no update for you on the Take It or Leave It knitted sweater that I'm working on, because I haven't had time, or should I say I haven't made the time to just sit down and unpick that cable. I was hoping to get to it this week. I have been saying that for the last 2 weeks, but I don't think I'll be able to get to it this week because I'm working 3 days at Leon's Fabrics this week. So it doesn't look like it's going to be likely. Probably next week I will be able to really sit down, also because my daughter's going to be a few more hours per day at nursery, because I'm sure if those of you that have kids, you'll probably know that if the smaller kids are starting nursery, the first few weeks there's like an easing in period, settling in session, where 1 week is like 1 hour a day, the second week it goes up to 2, maybe 3 hours a day, and the third week it's those 3 hours or 3.5 hours including lunch, and then the last day of the 3 weeks for us is a full day for my daughter. For the next couple of weeks I'm still not going to be able to get back to a full proper schedule, so I just need to work around what is actually going on with my kids, work and everything else. I almost completely forgot to tell you that the weekend that passed was the August Sew and Bond, and it was again just such a lovely day. We had a few new people join us for the event. Once again my partner made really delicious food, and for the first time in Sew and Bond history there was not even a crumb left. Everything was just eaten up. This week my partner made us some sausage rolls, some pies with some potato filling and others with potato and mince filling. He also made us a carrot cake with some icing on the top, chocolate cake, banana cake, and then sandwiches. So everything is completely homemade except for the sandwiches this week. He didn't make the bread because there wasn't enough time, but most of the time he makes his own bread as well for the sandwiches. Everything was just simply gone. It disappeared, which I'm very pleased about because that means everyone enjoys what they are eating. Also, for the first time in Sew and Bond history was me and another person, Karen. We both rocked up in the same pattern, so in the same dress. But it actually took a moment to realize, and Karen was the one that realized, and she said, "Is that a wilder gown?" And I'm like, "Yes." And she's like, "I'm also wearing one." And I would have not have thought about that because she was wearing hers open with the ties hanging down, and I normally wear mine tied up with the bow at the top. And they were just completely different, not just for that fact, but mine had long sleeves, hers had short sleeves. I had tiered skirt and she just had one length of skirt without the layers in. So it's just really fun to see how each of us interpret all of these patterns differently, because the pattern is the same, but we just all do it to our personal taste. So I just thought it was really cool to see us wear the same dress completely different ways. And this actually gave me an idea for a future event where maybe we should organize that we all one day come wearing the same pattern and just see how each of us have interpreted, whether that is with the fabric, with the views that we have chosen, just whatever it is. I would love to see us all rock up one day wearing the same pattern. And I haven't told you yet, but a few weeks ago I created a private Facebook group where we can just all come together and maybe plan something like this for a Sew and Bond day. So if you would like to join that group, you can also post about what you're working on, just generally chat with everyone. So if you'd like to join this group, don't forget that the link is in the description box below. That's it for me today. Bye for now.